What is the best photography glove? For the longest time, the answer has been this. This is the Aquatech Sensory Glove. A great glove. It's kind of been, the main glove for a long time, but there's a new player in the game, and it is this. This is the Vallerret photography glove. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at what is the best photography glove for wintertime photography. Okay, so we're here in northern Idaho. I'm here to photograph bald eagles, and it is really cold out here. It's cold and it's wet, and you kind of have to have some good photography gloves with you anytime you're going to be shooting in a cold environment like this. So I've used these Aquatech gloves for years now. I really like them. I'm on my second pair of them, and they've served me really well. They're a good glove. They've served me well. They've recently implemented a different finger style, basically, where when you poke your finger out, you have to put your thumb and your forefinger through kind of a flap on the inside, and then you can poke your fingers out. And this new style, it keeps your fingertips warmer, because that used to be a source of the cold air leaking through. But it also makes it really hard to kind of put your fingers through there. The old style was easier to poke your fingers out, but a little less warm. These new style is warmer, but it's harder to get your fingers out. And when you finally do, you kind of really have to crank on them. So, that's a strike against the Aquatech Sensory Gloves. They're a fairly warm glove, but they've never been like really crazy super warm. If that's even a thing. But when I saw these new Vallerret gloves, this is a company in Norway. They successfully completed a Kickstarter project, and now they're shipping everywhere. I just got these in, and my first reaction to getting these was how tacky they are. You see these cool designs and patterns on the palm. It's not just for looks. They're actually a very tacky surface. And anywhere you see this paint, it's really tacky. So what's nice about that is when you go to grab your camera, you can actually grip it. That has always been a strike against these Aquatechs, is that it's kind of hard to feel what you're doing. It's hard to feel your lens and your camera with the rest of your hand. So when you go to change lenses, I've always taken them off. But with these, I feel like I could actually leave them on while I swap lenses. So that is a huge bonus. Poking the finger through, these, and rather than having just a little circle that you poke your fingers out of, these actually have kind of a cut in them. And this is actually a much better design. Your fingers poke out of it much easier, and then when you put your fingers back in, there's very little cold air leaks through that. So again, this finger and thumb design is better than the Aquatech Sensory Gloves. As far as warmth, they're very comparable, really. They're both warm. They're not quite as warm as like a ski glove or something really heavy, but they're much warmer than your typical like E-tip gloves. I use the E-tip glove from North Face a lot when I'm just kind of out knocking around. They're much warmer than those thin gloves, but they're not quite as warm as just a full-on like ski glove. Another cool feature of these Vallerret gloves is they have this zipper pocket here on the back of the glove, where you could potentially put like SD cards, lens wipes, probably not a battery. It's not big enough to put a battery to keep warm in there, but you could definitely put small accessories like lens cloths are probably the main thing I would end up putting in there. Really, really like these gloves. Price point, they're the same. The Aquatech Sensory Glove, typically you're paying like $39 to $49 on Amazon. I believe these are retailing for $39 on the website. You'll have to double check me on that. I always forget numbers, but price point is the same. I'm gonna go with these every time. The design for poking your fingers out is it's a much better design. It's easier to poke your fingers out, and they actually stick out a little further. They poke out better. So this is a better design. The very little air leaks through this design. Love the pocket. I love the tackiness of the palm. The tackiness of the palm is probably the biggest thing, because, you know, the worst part of wearing a heavy glove like this and dealing with your camera equipment is the fear of dropping something. And it's a very real fear with these. Like these, the Aquatechs kind of have a beaded texture to them, but it's not a tacky texture. It's not grabbing your equipment, but this is a very tacky texture. You can really get a nice firm hold on anything that you're working with. So really love these Vallerret gloves. I'll put a link in the show notes. Make sure you check them out if you're going to be doing any cold weather shooting. Really love these gloves. So hopefully this has been useful. And make sure you go over to improvephotography.com to see more videos. Go over to nickpagephotography.com to see some of mine. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much, and happy shooting. Keep your hands warm.